Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 781 of FloWrestling Radio Live, or episode 420. It is April 20th of FloWrestling Radio Live. We pass on grass on this show, except for Ben. Ben is an admitted weed user and abuser, one time accidentally.
I don't know about JD, but we're all pretty clean on the show. I think, Shane drinks beer at 7 a.m.
In my face, I'm as clean as they come.
I don't think he does anything.
Yeah.
Christian, you're straight arrow. I don't know about JD. He might be our wild card.
Look at my face. I'm clean cut now.
He's a young wild man, but he keeps it together.
All right.
Yeah. Have a day, Keith Gothard, says JD here. He's one of our main listeners. And
welcome back, Facebook people. We've had issues the past couple episodes with Facebook Live, but we're back up. So.
It was never for lack of trying.
That's right.
It was for lack of, I don't know, ability or something.
Blame Zuckerberg in the metaverse.
Yeah, we blame. That's a very easy one. And proud, happy to have Shane back. We got Ben, we got JD. Should be a fun show. We're going to, before we get into the topic we're going to get into, which is the 2022 NCAA champs versus 2013 NCAA champs, I think it's going to be a very, very close competition. I think it's very competitive. I think we're going to have some really fun debate here that we will embrace. But
man, the more I've been thinking about this, the more I don't like it.
Oh,
like, what's the point? We're not doing coronavirus anymore. We don't have nothing to talk about. We got stuff to talk about. I know we're going to do this, but I'm like, why are we doing this?
Oh, well, that's fun, Ben.
Someone's just going to yell at us for no reason.
Oh, who's going to yell at you?
I don't know. Someone.
Sure. Poor Ben. Ben? You can hang up, Ben. You can hang
probably
up.
Brian O'Toole.
He's got to go against Keegan O'Toole. When I saw that, the first thing I thought is Ben's in a tough spot today because Ben's basically got to pick against one of his own kids, more or less, and he's got to do it. And I love Keegan O'Toole a ton, but he's not beating Kyle Dake. That year. It's just not happening.
But
he's a stud. There's no shame in that.
What did I tell you he was going to call all the guys? What did I say yesterday? That Shane was going to say to all the guys. I said he's going to say the guys that lose. He's going to call them all studs. I said that on the show yesterday.
These guys are incredible. What a duel meet. I can't wait. This is going to be a fun match today.
Okay. Before we get to it, someone did Ben's homework for him.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. I gotta let Shane know one more thing before you start, Christian.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Shane, but we talked about yesterday morning. If you don't make the picks, Christian Piles has installed the trap door in your house. You have 30 seconds. If you don't, trap door is going to open. You're gone.
I'll make the picks on this one. I have a winner. There's a method to the madness on this one.
You're not curious how Christian got in your house and installed the trap door?
You don't want to know.
You know what? I'm not, because the door's open half the time anyway. So yeah. Come on over.
Shane clearly hasn't watched Making a Murderer. You need to lock your doors.
Seriously. That's like right down the road from him.
It is right down the road.
Really?
And I was going to start watching it the other day, but I did not watch it.
You've never watched it?
You got to watch it.
I'm probably one of the few people in Wisconsin that has not watched it.
Oh, my God. You got to watch it. It's like 35 minutes away from you or something.
It's so good.
About an hour. Manitowoc.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Manitowoc, Two Rivers. Yeah.
We don't know about those Two Rivers people.
Man,
those nuclear plants, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they some interesting byproducts there. It's really well done. It's actually.
You guys want to give? I got time for a real quick joke here. Talking about Wisconsin.
Yes.
So I got a friend of mine. His name is Kevin Bozeman. Phenomenal comedian. Phenomenal. Okay, he's so funny. And maybe my favorite joke that he says in regards to Wisconsin people, it's like you meet somebody, and it's like, hey, Christian, you're from what, Virginia, right? So it's like, hey, in Virginia, we're known for this, and this. It's like, oh, great. JD, where are you from? You from Iowa?
That is correct.
You're from Iowa. So you go like, hey, we got this, this, and this. Ben and I drop this hammer. We live in Wisconsin. You know what we're known for? We eat people. You got Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein, all these like cannibalistic crazies that come from Wisconsin. So beat that.
I forgot about
Beat
it.
that.
Ed
Beat
was
that. We eat people.
Yeah.
We eat people.
Yes. So it's kind of like, don't cross a Wisconsinner also. Are they called Wisconsinites? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. Shout out to, but as we also talked about yesterday, Chris Farley, a proud Wisconsinite.
Farley.
That's a big one.
Oh, he was the best.
I think that negates Dahmer. I think we can say that.
Dahmer was something else. I still, there's moments you remember where you are. There's always moments you know where you are. True story. 1991, I was at a Bobby Douglas Arizona State wrestling camp. That's what I went out there for.
Uh-huh.
And I hadn't gone to the camp yet. I was staying at some friends, and I can still remember to this day, I'm 15 years old, eating breakfast at the table, and all of a sudden, like, breaking world news comes out about the guy they found in Wisconsin who was, eating people and whatever else. So
who else was in Wisconsin? Yes, this is the same area. I remember, this is so funny. I remember driving to a youth wrestling tournament with my dad. Lorena Bobbitt in Milwaukee chopped her husband's penis off. You guys remember that?
I do remember
about the Mount Rushmore of Wisconsin. We can go with anybody. I mean, we can go with anybody with the people. I mean, you talk about a rotation that can win a World Series. We have them.
Pound for pound freak show in Wisconsin. Hey, well, okay. When Dahmer was at the height of his powers, was it known that he was doing this, or was it just like, oh, we just found this guy?
I was too young.
Yeah, well, there was a time when the police were called to his residence. Don't quote me on this, but I think a guy ran out of the apartment complex, we'll call it bruised and battered, clearly something was wrong with him, and the cops didn't do anything about it. They had their chance to get him and they missed it.
Yeah.
So.
Jeez.
But it wasn't like Son of Sam where everyone knew there's some dude out there killing people.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's hey, we found where all those guys were. This guy ate them actually. That's where they were.
God.
Holy cow. All right. You know what? no seamless transition there. But Ben, someone did your homework on the
all right.
What we were talking about yesterday with the most returning champions, and so if you look. Next year does have the potential to be the highest, as you can see there. So he put the highest potential or the most likely, whatever. But 2013, 1992, and I think one other was a very.
Wait, so I can't read it. So it says 2023 best case, 2023
realistic.
Realistic 2023 winners don't win again. Got it. Okay. Wow.
So
it would be.
Yeah. Very, very possibly. Currently, last year is tied for most accumulated with 1992, 2005, 2013, and 2018.
Guys, what's this exactly?
So we were talking about how this year's or the upcoming NCAAs could have the most returning total NCAA championships coming into it.
Okay.
Well, I was saying once they won it, the 10 champs total. But I mean, this is very similar
because you've got a two-timer in Brooks going for third. You've got two-timer Starachi going for his third. You have two four-timers, Spencer and
RBY going for third.
You have Roman going for his third potentially if he comes back, et cetera, et cetera. Imagine if Gable came back.
But I was just going to say, then you throw Gable in there, you really have.
You really?
And he is coming. I still think he's coming back.
You really think so?
I do. Yep.
Shane, what do you know? What do you know?
I don't.
You're slow playing us.
I just think he's coming back. I was told by a reliable source before the Big Ten he was coming back, and then he left the shoes. So we're doing that. So we're doing that broadcast, and I make the comment about how he's coming back, and then he leaves his shoes on the mat. So I'm like, oh, looked a little stupid there, perhaps, but I'm not. I still think he's coming back. I just do. I mean, because I think these guys can come back. I don't want to downplay how difficult it is to win NCAA titles, and I wouldn't say this about many guys, but he's a guy that probably come back for a handful of matches and win a national title.
Yeah. What about he has to enroll in school?
Yeah, isn't there a way around everything now?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about wait till second semester you can enroll and then not do any classes.
Enroll in one class, don't do it. than win NCAAs.
You got to enroll in a couple.
No, yeah, I think you got to be in
So many credits.
You can enroll as many as you want and not go to them. It's very easy to not go to them. You can
You do have to pay for them even if you flunk out, though.
He doesn't.
And then you go online,
that might be true.
online classes. I mean, there's a way to do it. We'll see. I mean, I don't know anything. I really think he's coming back, and who knows? Maybe there's 0%, and I'll just keep telling myself he's coming back.
I think there's no way he's done wrestling forever. I think he'll definitely do another match at some point in time, whether it's NCAAs, Final X, Olympics, or just one exhibition, one-off thing. The guy's a competitor.
And he's going to be 22 on May 31st. He's so young. He's so young yet.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy.
I mean, when he came to college, he was technically one of the youngest kids in his class, probably.
Yeah, he was young. Definitely. He was definitely
unbelievable.
Young. Yeah, he's as good as we've ever seen, for sure. Okay, so that's next year could be one of the craziest for sure in terms of insane talent. I wonder if that'll take a little bit of the luster that there's going to be so many big favorites coming into the next year, but we kind of went through it, and it's going to be tough for a lot of these guys to win. I mean, think if obviously Gable doesn't even count. Spencer, Yanni, pretty big favorites, but for Aaron Brooks, he's going to have to really earn it. Starachi, if Makai's back at 74, which we expect him to be, going to be really.
Somebody asked an insane question today.
Let's go to it.
I don't recall who asked that on Twitter, but they said something to the effect of reversion to the mean.
Okay, I got it right here. Do you want me to read it?
Okay. Well, yeah, you read it, and I'll go.
I thought this would be the one you would say, and I can't wait to talk about it. So Tanner Huffman says, statistically, Penn State is due to regress with concern to all the semifinals and finals tight match wins. How, quote, shocking would it be if none of the 4 returning champions repeat? If you play out all 4 potential finals matchups, it's not that unlikely, in my opinion. Ben, your response?
Nonsense.
Yeah.
All 4? All 4? Tanner, are you smoking some drugs, or are you just like a hardcore Iowa guy or something? I mean, I would kind of like to percentages on this. I feel like if 1 of 4 lost, that's like reasonably likely, especially given who's coming back at 97. If you told me 2 of 4 lost, I'm pretty damn surprised. If you told me 3 of 4 lost, I'm like, whoa, what the freak happened? If you told me 4 of 4 lost, hell froze over. Ain't happening. Sorry. Now, regression to the mean, right?
What's the mean is the question.
Exactly. So if the mean is 80%, 75%, they're at 90, that still means they go to 60. They ain't going to 0. Come on.
Well, so they're at what, 90 what percent, Ben?
90-ish percent. 90. We'll just say 90. Easy math.
And this is in the semis or the semis and finals combined?
Both. They're both at roughly 90-ish.
Okay, so the one thing you could do if you just did Kale all time, like Iowa State through, it would be lower somewhat. What is that?
Probably if you did Penn State's first couple of years, so this is like, I don't remember what the recency of this is. It's the last handful of years. They're obviously leaving off the first few years at Penn State. Yeah, I mean, and then if we're tracking it over, honestly, if you're tracking it over, let's just say you got to Penn State, that's what, 13 years? 12 or 13? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a damn big sample size. And you can't say, honestly, that should be the sample size. Whatever the mean is right now should probably be the mean, most likely.
Right.
And then over the 12-year period, over the last 3, so if the complete mean for that 12-year period or whatever was 70%, and the last 3 years they're at 90, yeah, maybe there'll be a regression to the mean, and they'll go back to 70 or maybe dip a little below.
Which is still insane.
It's still
insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mean is probably 70, 75%. So even if they were to go a little below it, losing all 4 finals, hell freezes over. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
This last year, though, guys. I mean, and I know we've talked about this. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, when you look at Brooks and Amin, like Mackay and Starachi, Dean at 97, like these were not gimmies. Like Roman Bravo Young Fix, those. If you would have told me before, I'm just being honest. Tell me if you would have told me before the finals, as good as they are and as awesome as they are, that RBY would have lost, that Brooks would have lost, that Dean would have lost, and Starashi would have lost. Like, I hate that. Yeah, look who they lost to. Those guys were all really good. I mean, heading in, Nick Lee, I think we'd all agree was the biggest favorite. But that's why I just don't think you can carry it all. I mean, I know there's got to be they've done it so consistently, like you can't say there's nothing to that kind of consistency. But to bank on going 4 for 4 in the finals or 4 for 5, like, I just don't know how you could even think that's realistic.
No, but he's saying, okay, I mean, well, honestly, it is realistic because they've done it. I think they said 21 the last 24, I believe.
That's unbelievable.
We got more stats that are just as shocking. From Joe Caprino, I didn't double-check this, so if somebody else wants to double-check this.
Joe's legit.
Since 2011, Penn State is 45-6, 38-0 when they're the higher seed, and 7-6 when they're the lower seed.
And this is in what? The finals or the
I believe
semis.
Yeah, semis on.
45-6, 38-0 when higher seed. So they don't get upset.
And they win more than they lose when they're the lower seed as well.
When's the last time a Penn State guy got, quote, upset? Like, I have no idea.
David over Bubba.
Bubba
over David was a big upset.
What's that?
Well, and Rashid lost from the high seed, but they don't really have high seeds lose almost never.
That was also pre-2011. That was 20.
No, Bubba and David was
2011.
No, he's right. It was 2010. No,
you're all wrong.
It was 2011. It was 2011. You're right.
Bo Nickel comes to mind for me when Miles Martin beat him as an 11th seed or something like that.
Yeah, but Bo was the 6th.
Bo was the 6th. Yeah.
No.
I think he was.
Well, if they were in the finals, he couldn't be the 6th. That'd be a quarters matchup. What was
he was
Bo
like
that
the
year?
3.
4?
No, he was. I guess he was the 4 because he was on the top side.
Yeah, he had to be on the top side. 4, maybe a 4.
Because number 1 was Real Buta was the 2. I remember.
Was it
Real
Dean?
was
No,
the 2, unfortunately.
No, that's 74.
no, it wasn't Dean.
Wow, why am I blanking on this?
Yeah, who
Wasn't
are you
Jackson.
blanking on here? Nathan Jackson was in that bracket, but he was not that high.
That's who we wrestled in the semis. Who the heck was it? Drive me
So
nuts
Nathan
now.
would have been 8.
2016 NCAA wrestling.
Who did that?
Someone's in their car screaming the name. Also. They're like,
Cornell,
you
maybe?
idiots!
No, Real Budo's Cornell. Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa State, Mizzou. Evelyn got DQ'd that year, I think.
It wasn't Epperly. It wasn't. Dang, I don't know.
Come on, bro. Find the bracket. What is it, 2016?
I tried hard. I'm looking. We're going to punch ourselves, too. We're going to be bracket.
All right, I'm gonna beat you there, Christian. I got it up. Oh, let's go. 141.
Wait, Bo Nickel was the 1 seed.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
He only had did he have 1 loss that year to Nate Jackson?
Well, was 1. Ethan Ramos was 4. Brunson was 5. Epperly 8. Wow. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that.
How many losses did Nickel have that year?
1.
Not a lot, maybe.
Until
Just
Miles.
one
He
to
lost to
Nate
Nathan Jackson.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure he didn't have 1 more?
No. Yes, I'm sure. Because he won the scuffle. He beat Brian and either Crutchmer or he beat Ramos in the finals there.
Yeah,
That's
2
when
losses.
and then he was number 1 from basically then on, even after he lost to Nate. Then he lost to Miles in the finals. After beating Miles 3 times that year?
So he beat Miles 4-3 at the Nittany Lion Open.
Beat him in the duel.
Yep. He lost Nate Jackson 7-6. And then he beat Miles 11-5. And he beat Miles by fall in the Big Tens.
Yeah, he just straight up took him down, crossface cradled, and pinned him. I remember that. And then he lost the 2 weeks later. That was nuts. So
Nuts.
Nickel losing to Miles is definitely the number 1 example.
Yeah,
People maybe will have a little bit of revisionist on the Bubba David Taylor one.
Wait, so that stat's got to be wrong because that stat just said 45-0 when higher seeded, and we just found 1.
Yeah. All right, debunked.
Caprino, get it together, dude.
Caprino.
Maybe his starts after that.
Since 2011, he says. Maybe he just means semis.
This is just semis.
Okay.
Oh, just semis. All right.
Makes more sense. Still pretty astounding.
Pretty astounding.
Here you list the losses. Hochester over Long, Garrett over Megaludis, Steber over Rutherford, Clark over Gobon, McKenna over Lee, Stevenson over Kirkfleet.
Yeah. Pretty acceptable ones. Yeah. But yeah, not a lot of upsets on the Penn State side.
Not a lot.
Okay.
Pretty rare. So yes, going over 4 and so I mean I'll just say not even going over 4 in the finals because that would be given they make the finals. Having 0 of those 4 people win a title next year would be very shocking.
Yeah, it would be absolutely shocking.
Who with 184 guys? Help me out. 184. Who will be the biggest?
Parker.
Next to Brooks.
Wisconsin, baby.
Parker,
Trent.
Hidley, Truex can be back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone would move up from 74 that would be super viable. Those are the names right now.
Okay.
It's not going to be those are going to be, I mean, we saw how it played out this year at NCAAs. Like, those are one takedown decision victories for Aaron, probably, if he wins them, or close matches. Okay. Other news before we get to the showdown. Keegan O'Toole.
Guys, I'll give you the way too early take. So, every now and then you guys like when I make crazy predictions a little bit, I'll make one right now.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I don't think Aaron Brooks gets taken down next year.
Ooh.
One time.
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
One takedown.
What are we betting?
We'll figure something. I'll give you one, Ben. If I win, you got to follow me on Twitter. You don't even follow me on Twitter, for God's sake. I couldn't believe you talk about my feelings hurt. I just noticed that a couple weeks ago.
I don't
think about this.
I don't think I follow Christian either.
No, I think you do. It hurt.
Really?
I think you do.
I got unfollow Christian now.
Yeah, it says you follow each other. Follows you. I'll screenshot it, so even if you unfollow me, it's on the record. But you know what? You know why? You know what led
Sometimes
to
I think I salute to unfollow. I think my kids click around on my phone because I'm following some weird ones. What the heck? Keep going. Sorry.
You know what prompted you to follow me was you kept texting me and asking me questions that I literally tweeted. I was like, it was literally all these different answers to all the things you were asking. I was like, bro, I tweet all this stuff. He's like, well, I don't follow you. I was like, okay, so follow me so you don't have to text me. Not that I mind you texting me, but
I hate it when I text you.
Yeah, you hate it so much.
All right, now I'm going on unfollowing binge.
You only follow 82 people.
I'm following less now.
Uh-oh. Miles Miss Teen Crypto. That sounds like an unfollow to me.
I met her last week at the Bitcoin conference.
Oh, that's a pity follow.
Very, very nice lady. She gave my daughter some pins and some stickers.
Scratch and sniff.
Wow.
I don't think one had a unicorn, so my one daughter was really pumped.
We were talking, Ben, before the show. I asked you what year you were born, 84. I talked about maybe one of the best years ever. And one thing I forgot to tell you about why 84 was so great, that was the heyday, the peak of scratch and sniff stickers, for sure. No doubt.
How do you know this? How do you know this?
I was in school. Get a good grade on the spelling test.
You are wild, bro. Some of the things you say, I don't know where you come up with them.
Oh, you guys are too young. Some of the older people listening right now that grew up in the 80s are down with the scratch and sniff stickers. Believe me. Trust me. They were fantastic.
Everyone knows what scratch and sniffs are. The fact that someone would know the peak, the apex 84. Moment for them
84.
is what has me laughing. That's very funny, Shane. All right. Keegan O'Toole, no freestyle this year. I think we may have mentioned this previously, but he made it official on the Bader Show. No freestyle. I think one of the under the radar things this year is I guess he was battling some sort of injuries this year. And I don't know if he got into it at all on the show. Have not got to listen yet. I will. But yeah, that's obviously disappointing, but also understandable. Anything to add, Ben?
This
is your son.
News. That was not news to me.
Yes.
Not news.
Okay. Let's do it. 2022 versus 2013 Whiteboard War. We're getting into it. We're going to make picks.
Get it.
Ben's scared because he's going to have to pick against his son. But he actually doesn't have to. He could just pick him to beat Kyle Dake.
That would be, then everyone would be mad at me.
No one would be mad at you.
I don't know if there's any logic.
Guys, where does this dual meet start?
We can start wherever. We can start at 25.
Okay. We're starting at 125.
Does that matter?
And
Does that affect your
matters
picks?
a ton. It matters a
why?
ton. So at 125, give me because I don't have the screen pulled up in front of me. Who was it at 125?
Delgado Soriano.
Okay, let me make the first pick on this one.
Okay.
Soriano by decision, and he scores the first takedown and the only takedown of the match. And that is important.
Okay. I don't know why that's important yet, but it's all going to come full circle.
He's gonna say that's gonna decide the duel. That's what he said.
Wow, it's criteria 9.
Criteria is going to the first takedown. Soriano first takedown.
All right. I think Soriano wins this also. I see this as being a pretty defensive match. You know, Delgado obviously scored a crap ton of points in the scrambles. Yeah, let's go Soriano. Probably a 3-2, 4-2, something to that effect. I don't think either one can ride the other one.
I'm trying to think of a Delgado match where he wrestled someone sort of comparable to what Nick brought. Like a more stingy defensive guy, tough to get to. Because like his wins, he beat Nico, who was really good defensively, but like kind of would let you in and engage in the scrambles. He wrestled Matt McDonough, who would like let it fly and go crazy. He wrestled Nishan, I think. I think he beat him at some point. He beat him in the semis, I want to say. So I just don't think we really got to see it. I do think there's a little bit of recency bias here with Nick. But Delgado, I remember that this year is the year he was dead to rights against Kreiser, if I'm remembering correctly. I had the bracket pulled up. Do you remember this, guys? He was up, and Kreiser got away. Jesse had to like get away and then get a takedown and a turn late to beat him.
What? Escape a takedown and a turn?
Yes.
Do not recall this.
It was crazy. It was a very, very
Kreiser didn't place though, right?
Right, and then he DNP'd.
Oh, second round.
I need to read. I'm trying to read it.
Interesting.
It was really early on, and he got a takedown, and the takedown wouldn't have done it. You needed the turn as well. I'll have to look that matchup later, but he was vulnerable at times. Now Kreiser was a really funky dude, nothing like Soriano.
Yeah,
but I'll take Nick here by a decision. I think it is a one takedown match.
I concur.
Everyone agrees.
I think in 2013, a lot of people hadn't trained leg pass defense enough, but I'm sure Soriano, by this point, it's common enough that he would be able to defend.
It was kind of wild how people just didn't have answers for his passing. What were you thinking
That's
during
the Mark Perry difference.
Getting there, he was so fast.
Both these guys, Mark Perry trained.
Oh, true. Well, much longer for Jesse.
Yeah, Nick spent, 2 years in Arizona State? In Tempe?
I guess maybe 2 years. I don't know if it's
But
quite
Jesse's still 4 or 5 years, whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, do you think it was for Jesse, was he just particularly adept at it, or did he have a good feel for the timing?
All of the things.
All the things.
Yeah, he's very elite. But I don't think Nick would put I don't know. Nick is so good at not being put in those positions. I mean, he's very good there.
Right. That's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Steber versus Roman Bravo Young. This was the second title for Logan. He beat Tony Ramos in a mildly controversial match where Tony locked up a cradle when trailing and put him on his back. How long? Who's to say? Was it 2? Was he holding 2? There's a picture of the ref holding 2. Doesn't matter. Logan won and would be his second of his 4 NCAA titles. RBY, of course, we saw what he did. Beat Dayton Fix yet again. Beat Austin DeSanto yet again. Who do you got here, boys?
When I first saw this, I went Steber. And the more I think about it, mainly now just talking about his age, Steber's second title, I'm going Roman Bravo Young here. I am. I think, and the big thing, and here's why, guys. And Steber's freaking fantastic, okay? You look at Steber, with the match against Oliver. At the time, it was the correct call, right? The match you just mentioned against Ramos, he got those wins. You can't take them away. But they were very close. I mean, those matches could have went both. We talk about this all the time, how close it is. Roman Bravo Young, in this stage in his career, I think he's beating a sophomore Logan Steber. This is not prime versus prime. This is 2022 versus 2013. And when I first saw this, I had Steber, but the more I think about this, I'm taking Roman Bravo Young.
Man.
Because Roman Bravo Young is in his absolute prime right now. Steber, then, I don't think he was.
He had a really good year. I'm pretty sure he was undefeated this year.
Great.
Undefeated, Big Ten champ. He beat Tony 3 times that year, I believe.
That kind of sounds like you're rattling off RBY stats too. Undefeated, Big Ten champ.
Yeah.
Beat
Dayton.
The Santo 4 or 5 times, whatever it's been the last couple of years. The more we talk about this, I feel really good about RBY. Not to mention, let's point this out. We talk about it all the time. It's Penn State. It's Penn State. We're in the finals here.
But it's a dual meet. It's actually a dual meet. It's a dual meet.
Oh,
a little worse than dual meets.
Let's say this was an NCAA finals. We'll switch it up right now. I mean, I'm taking RBY.
Wow. No way. I mean,
I'm with Shane, Christian.
What is wrong with you guys?
I thought about this for a while.
2013 is like your what's the word I'm looking for? Nostalgic era.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You guys are completely discounting that Logan Steber is one of the best top wrestlers of a generation, and that there is no hold on. There is no comp that Roman has faced from the top position. Who is elite from the top position that Roman has wrestled? Absolutely no one. No one in the galaxy of Logan Steber on top. And that's just assuming that they're equals from neutral. He's
not going on the bottom in this match. Penn
then
State
he's already down
low. He's not going bottom. He won't have to.
I think he's choosing bottom. I think he's choosing bottom. Otherwise, he's going to have to get 2 takedowns. I mean, Christian, I guess I thought about that factor.
You guys are completely forgetting. He was a destroyer of world. He was killing almost everyone.
Except Tony Ramos.
He's bodied Tony Ramos. he destroyed Tony Ramos in the duel.
Guys,
he lost as a junior also.
He doesn't have this. He does not have that resume, Christian, in 2013. You got to look at the timing of this.
Look at that season.
2013, Logan Steber. At that time, let's be honest. You know what the conversation was in 2013 at this time? Yeah, Logan Steber kind of got lucky to win 2 titles. I think that's unfair, but that was the conversation.
You're the one promoting that narrative.
2022 is the guy's damn near invincible. This is really, the more we talk about this, it's not even that hard of a pick.
Wow. Horrible.
Look, I'm not either way.
Horrible takes.
You're too far on the Steber train. You're too far on the RBY train.
Guys,
loco.
To just dismiss RBY?
I mean,
you said there is no way.
No, I didn't say there's no way. If I did, I didn't. But you guys are just completely discounting like the biggest factors of all. And also, You're also forgetting how dominant Logan was this year, how good 133 was. Like, I don't know.
I'm taking Steber, but I think it's a very tough pick.
Man.
Can I interject? You guys are nuts. When and maybe I'm forgetting, and maybe you can help me on this one. When has RBY even been ridden for a little bit of time? I was trying to think of a time because I thought the same thing as you, Christian. Maybe Steber is obviously very elite on top, but then it's like, when has anyone even came close to riding him? And I couldn't think of a time in the last 2 years. Am I missing something?
Which goes back to my entire point of he hasn't faced elite riders.
Sure, but we would see at least like a chink in the armor or just a little bit of weakness. Oh, he got ridden by 45 seconds by this guy. But like, I mean, Dayton is not, and he's not an elite turner by any sense of the imagination, but he is pretty solid on top. Dayton hasn't really rode Roman at all.
I'm just stunned right now. I just can't believe this. I mean,
so I see it as kind of Dayton's a world silver medalist. RBY's beat him twice in a row now. I think there's one takedown in the match, and I think RBY gets it and he wins 3-2.
Wow.
I know.
I'm with you, Ben. I'm with you.
My mind is totally blown. I think
this is why I said you're too far on the Steber train.
Guys, you got to look at the timing of it.
I am. You guys have total revisionist history. You're thinking about one exchange in a Tony Ramos match. You're not looking at the entirety of his season.
I'm taking RBY and I'm sleeping really well knowing I picked him.
How do you think that? Do you think?
And I love Logan Steber, but Roman Bravo Young right now. Roman Bravo Young, in my mind, you can make a case. You can make a case based on just where he's at in his prime. Like if you took 133-pounders in their prime in college wrestling the last 50 years, off the top of my head, I'm taking RBY.
Oh, well, I don't know if I would go that far. I'm not ashamed to say that.
At this point, you would probably have to agree, Ben. If you're taking him over Logan or JL, I mean, it's certainly one of the best 33s I can recall.
I'd have to look through it to see. But I mean, yeah, RBY is putting on some really elite performance. Christian, Dayton is a world silver medalist who couldn't get a takedown on RBY in how many minutes of wrestling?
Yeah, I would say that
couldn't get
one
one
of the
okay, in your estimation, how is Logan, and I'm open to the idea, how is Logan gonna beat RBY? Go.
I mean, this guy had are you comparing the offensive skill set of Logan Steber to Dayton Fix right now? The leg attack arsenal.
Single leg?
Could be a single leg, could be a low double, could be a pass by. He had a lot of ways to get to legs and score and finish. That's what made him really, really hard to beat. And it's one of the main things we've talked about with Dayton. It's like he has a hard time generating leg attack offense. Right? Yeah, that was never an issue, never a concern for a period of time for Logan. He's always able to get to legs and score against everyone. What do you think? What do you think Logan Steber would do to Austin DeSanto? That would be a bloodbath.
Well, DeSanto's not elite on bottom, so I think that's going to be kind of a bloodbath. I think once Steber gets on top, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah,
and RBY doesn't have those top skills.
Wrestling is so bad at stats and stuff. I'll find them for Logan. And
well, I'm on WrestleStat. They only have 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the other obvious about just if we're not looking at careers, to Shane's point, looking at years.
Yep.
RBY has gotten a lot better because in 2019 he was all right, and then remember I even bring up he lost those matches at the Junior Open and the Junior Trials, and I was like, dude, this dude ain't gonna be what everyone thought he was gonna be, and then he has just made some really significant improvements. To my point, Dayton's had how many minutes of wrestling, hasn't got one takedown on him.
Yeah.
And honestly, Austin DeSanto's an offensive dynamo, and now he hasn't got a takedown in the last, 35 minutes of wrestling.
Think about that. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah, Christian and JD, it's okay. There's no shame in this. I always love it when I get turned. I love it because it's like, man, I can see I'm open-minded, and you learn things. You guys, why don't you guys just make that adjustment on the grid and we'll all agree?
You guys are on the what?
You got takedown files.
On what? Change my mind on what?
The match.
This is an embarrassing take. It's bad. I am in absolute disbelief. Disbelief.
I'm equally as shocked.
Yeah.
You two are both too far on the opposite end of the spectrum.
It's going to be a tight match.
I agree, JD. Me and you are in the middle. I mean, so I have a comparison to the Santo and RBY thing, it's kind of like because I think Steber would torch DeSanto. I don't think it would be slightly competitive. But that's like when you would watch David Taylor kill people and you'd be like, damn, kill him? Surely he's going to beat Dake. And then all of a sudden, boom, he doesn't beat Dake. And you're like, wait, I thought Dake beat that guy by a point and Taylor beat him by 14. Like, surely Taylor's going to win. And then it would never play out that way.
So some stats, this is not comprehensive. I want the matches. But 27 matches for Steber that year. 22 of those 27 matches, pins or techs. Okay. Two of those were
but you don't think he turns?
I don't think who turns. I mean, yeah, he very well could turn
Christian,
RBY.
you still have not answered the question to me of
I tried.
How does it go? How does the match go? Just give me the scoring sequences. Go.
Quick takedown, early takedown, first period takedown and ride out. Then
rides him out the whole period?
Yes.
Okay, all right, keep going.
Second period, maybe he goes under, maybe Logan gets away. Okay. Maybe they play a little patty cake. He's up 3-0 with like a minute of riding time. So maybe gives up a takedown late in the third. Maybe just like gives it up, gives up the escape. Roman cuts him to try to get another takedown. This is probably charitable. I think he turns him.
5-2, 5-2.
Christian, let me ask you this question.
He turns him. So we're going 8-2, 8-2, 9-2. We're getting close to a major.
Christian, what if? I'm going to sound like Skip Bayless right now.
Well, you guys
what if they gave Tony Ramos those near fall points and he won that match?
It would have been tied.
He wouldn't have won.
The near fall would have tied the match.
Okay.
So it was like that was the total thing with the Iowa fans, which like it's like wait, yeah, it changes the match for sure, but like it didn't even put him in the lead. I'm pretty sure because he got away right away and that like tied it up. So it wasn't like it's not like the JO. If you call the 2, he wins the match straight up. It was not like that at all.
Yeah. RBY is way harder to take down than Ramos was, for sure. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
This is a true fact.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Listen, I'm not like Shane. I'm not offended if you pick Logan Steber. I think he could go either way. I can see both arguments here. But I like my call 3-2. I think your call of 9-2 is a little bit extreme, Christian.
No, I don't know. I mean, I was giving it out, but I said he could absolutely turn him. I'm not saying that he would, but
now Christian's going technical fall. I got
it. Man, holy cow!
Steber is one of the all-time greats.
Oh, here we
go.
No
doubt. I just
so what you think is more likely?
His career, he's beaten RBY. He was what, five years in, right? This is fifth year? Fourth year. Fourth year.
4 years.
Yeah, I'm at that stage in their career, I'm taking RBY.
What you think is more likely? Steber by major or RBY?
RBY is a sophomore. I'm taking Steber.
Yeah, RBY is a sophomore. It's not comparable. He lost multiple times that year.
Yep.
What was your question?
What you think is more likely? Steber by 8-point plus major or RBY wins?
Yeah, definitely the RBY win.
Okay.
RBY win would be more likely.
Yeah, so you're asking basically, would you take RBY getting 8 points?
No.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Essentially, you are. That is kind of what you're.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah. No, I would not.
Anyways, all right. Let's go.
And I'm the guy that's been accused of drinking early in the morning.
Okay, Nick Lee, Kendrick Maple. I'm shook. I kind of want to just stop the segment. I can't believe it.
Stop.
Unbelievable.
Stop the show. Christian got roasted too hard.
No, you roasted yourself for 20 minutes. It was a self-roast. You put yourself on a rotisserie. Now you're rotating.
Shane was roasting you. Shane was. I made great valid points. My points stand. RBY hasn't been ridden. He's a different guy in the last 2 years.
Yep.
Steber had really close matches against. They were good people, but I see him struggling to take RBY down. I think that's a fair assessment.
Okay.
RBY's gone 50 minutes against DeSanto and Fix and not getting up one takedown.
FloWrestling recency bias live. Here we go to 141. Nick Lee versus Kendrick Maple. I won't start.
No, start. Tell us what's going to happen.
I actually think Kendrick Maple this year was really fantastic.
Yes.
Ends up with, I think he beats Port in the final this year.
4-3.
This was really this was the year Steber Maple looked like that was going to be the final, and then Port spoiled it. I think this is probably Nick Lee 2022. You think about what Nick Lee's. I don't know. Some of the freestyle stuff is not as relevant, but I think it is relevant that this guy beat Zane and beat Yanni in freestyle. It's kind of you pull from other data points when you're not as sure. And I think this was as good as Maple ever was, and it was the only title he won. And I think it actually stylistically is a really difficult matchup for Nick Lee because of how good he was in the reattack game, how solid Maple was defensively. He was awesome this year. But
hey, are we going to possibly see this match this weekend? Is Nick Lee wrestling or no?
He's not.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'll take Lee here.
Yeah, Lee by decision.
Lee by decision.
He has to take all the Big Ten wrestlers.
And Christian, I just got to say this real quick. Based on recency bias, we're talking about 2022. So it is, I mean, that's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Relevant.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, I'm going Nick Lee.
You're going Nick Lee, unanimous across the board.
I wanted to pick Kendrick Maple. I don't think I can make a justification for it.
Yeah. Well, the justification is the style. It's the the defense, the reattacks is how he could do it. But
it's that he went into overtime with Jaden this year, lost to Jaden last year.
Mm-hmm.
That we didn't get to see him against the prime Seabass or Jaden at NCAAs.
Yeah, that's fair also. All right, 149, J.O. versus Yanni. So it was funny because, like, when I first saw, like, when I saw this match, I was like, J.O. And then I was like, man, this dude, Yanni, literally beat J.O. as, like, a freshman. And then he beat him. I honestly think this is an incredibly close match. I'm not sure who takes it, but I think you probably have to go Yanni.
I'm going Yanni.
Because and the one thing here, the X factor is J.O.'s top game. But who's ever really ridden Yanni? And I think you can kind of forget. And I don't think Jordan quite rode people at the level he was in, like, his 33 days. But he was still really, really good on top. But
I think it's a tough match because J.O. also, rarely got taken down. Not very many times. But Yanni is he's so hard to score on. He's not going to get ridden. He's probably not going to ride. So I could actually see this one going into overtime, maybe like a 3-3. Both guys get one takedown and one escape or something like that. If they wrestled 10 times, they both win some matches. But I'm picking Yanni because I think that's the way it goes more often.
Yep, Yanni.
Shane?
I agree with. I think this one, when you look at these 10 matchups, this is first or second hardest one for me to pick. I agree with Ben. It's a sudden victory written all over it. I'm going to go Yanni, and a big reason for it is momentum. 2022's won 3 straight. You want to freaking come out and ride momentum?
I think I got a 4 straight, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had won 3 straight. Now it's 4 straight.
Why are we changing colors here? What's going on here? Who's this, JD or?
I think that's Tyler.
That's Tyler.
Tyler, 2022s are supposed to be red, right? And then 2013s are blue? All right.
The font colors under scrutiny. Okay, 157.
Oh, what a battle here. What a battle. How about Ryan Deacon, guys, at the Blackhawk games couple days ago? You see that?
No,
I didn't see it.
I've never watched a hockey game in my life.
At the
That's
Blackhawk
cool,
game, they've been bringing in some, like, Northwestern athletes and coaches. And Deacon did the, try to put the puck in the hole, and he ice in his veins. He did it.
That's what's up. So for me,
puck in the hole.
I think this is DSJ here.
What?
So, man, you think that's crazy? So
No, I don't think it's crazy.
So here's why. Derek St. John is for this era was like one of the best scramblers in the game by far, and he
was scrappy. I don't know what.
He out-scrambled Welch every single time. Out-scrambled Welch, who was like
the scrambler.
The scrambler. Out-scrambled him. There's. I'll find the clip. It's out there somewhere. There are 20 of theirs. I think it was a semi when he beat him before he beat Dake or before he lost to Dake. I think I see Ryan Deacon getting in on a single and a drape, and St. John finds a way to win the match.
This is my nostalgia pick. I'm going Derek St. John as well. This one might have been my toughest one to pick. But but I got to go with the Iowa guy.
Iowa.
Sorry, trying to find it.
Wow.
And maybe that's disrespectful to Ryan Deacon, who went undefeated, has beaten David Carr, but I don't know. Derek St. John somehow finds a way.
You guys are making me question it.
This is one that they wrestled 10 times. Like, I think St. John wins like 6. Maybe just 5, but this is one of those 5.
Maybe I should pick Derek St. John. I was definitely going to lean Deacon. And I just figured he would actually get, I actually figured he would score the single. He had better leg attacks. I don't think either guy would really ride each other all that much. Both are pretty solid on top, and neither were great on bottom, but good enough.
I'm gonna put this in the. I'm gonna put this in the doc. The St. John Welch scramble. If you click the link at the time,
can we play it?
Yeah.
Can we play it on the show or no?
Not legally, but
Not
illegally,
legally.
yes. But you could watch it, Ben, and you would be. That's one of the scrambles in the match.
Where is it? Is it the YouTube one that you put in there?
Yes, sir.
All right, I will check it out. Give you my right here. This is 2012, but okay.
We know who Shane's gonna pick.
Guys, this is very similar to what Ben's going to experience here in a couple of minutes. It pains me to do this.
Oh, wow.
But I got to go with St. John.
All right.
Because St. John, and this I know it's a completely different topic, but in 10, 11 years, whatever it's been on Big Ten, if somebody said to me who was the toughest, just flat out toughest guy you've ever seen wrestle, it's a toss-up for me. It's either St. John or Corey Clark.
What about those two guys? What about freaking Max Mirren? You're forgetting about him.
I love Max. Max Mirren's in the mix too. I mean, I know it now. It's all Iowa guys, but man, St. John was like, God dang it, man. I mean, those guys just fought until the death on every position. But I'm taking St. John here to put. What are we looking at? 2013 to put him on the board. They finally get a much needed victory heading to the intermission.
Oh man, Welch is almost been there. Nothing that technically proficient is happening in this scramble. Okay. As I said, St. John's has a good feel and he's kind of gritty, but I was highly unimpressed with that scramble.
I don't even know if that's a good one.
Unrelatable, Ben. I got it. All right, I'm gonna go. Oh man, I was gonna go with Deacon. You guys made me lean. I'll go St. John. I think it's somewhere.
Great match. Great match, though. Great match.
Right.
I think it would be a good one. All right, 165. Kyle Douglas Dake versus Keegan O'Toole.
Senior Dake.
Everyone's got to pick Dake here. Hopefully, Keegan will be ready by 2024.
Wow, how funny is it that could be an actual thing?
Could be a thing.
Yeah, definitely Dake.
And then it'll be freshman Dake versus senior Keegan as Kyle Dake continues to get younger and younger every day.
That's a good point.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I was wondering where he was going, and then he's exactly right. Okay, so now we go to 174. All right, this is a tough one. You know this is a gritty, tough match. Chris Perry versus Carter Starace. This was the year Perry beat Matt Brown of Penn State in the finals.
I'm picking Carter.
Yeah, I'm going Carter on this one.
Carter.
Sure.
Yep. I think it's a one takedown match.
Yep.
And I think Carter
could play out like.
Dang, I didn't realize. Oh my God. Chris Perry, 5'4", 4-0, tiebreaker, OT, tiebreaker.
Oh yeah, he was skin of his teeth
all the time. Which almost makes me want to pick him. That it would go to the tiebreaker like Starace did with Mackay, and he somehow wins on.
Oh, if it goes to tiebreaker, I'll go. I would pick Perry.
Time, but
he was. I'll say.
Well, he did that move that's not even legal anymore. So we go 2013 rules, or all he went was side headlock. Remember?
He would evolve. Mark and Chris would put a game plan together and figure something out.
Starachi's in that Mount Rushmore of tough guys too. I mean, he's
Shane, you're out of spots on Mount Rushmore.
not on the toughness team. Clark, St. John, Starachi. Those are three. I don't know. I wouldn't have anybody else off the top of my head. Carter Starachi. Man. Guys, let me ask you this real quick. I'll be honest, I just didn't really know anything about him. I would say in my time watching wrestling, there's nobody that's impressed me most from a guy that I really didn't know much about. Who is that for you guys? You got anybody?
Well, what do you mean didn't know anything about, like, just coming out of high school?
I didn't. I remember if you would have told me watching Carter Starachi like early in his freshman year, I would not have considered him a guy that could win a national title. At the time, I just didn't think he could. Early on in his freshman year.
I would have said out of high school, I didn't have that high of expectations. And then once he crushed the scuffle, I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. I am so impressed with him. Man.
Yeah. So who would it be? I don't know. Like someone that was under Nishan was one that I just did not see that coming at all.
I watched Nishan in high school and I'm like, holy shit, this kid's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
good old Chico High School.
Yeah.
He was so under the radar, and coming into his freshman year, it was like, is this guy gonna start over Bricker Dixon or Caleb Richardson? That was like the question. They had like three legit dudes at 125, and then he ends up being the guy and he beats McDonough as a freshman. Yeah. And once he got on the radar, it's like, okay, yeah, this guy is super legit.
It was going to be good. That's a good question. I don't know. I took a look at a bunch of.
Is there anyone that you didn't think that was like a big recruit? Maybe the question is like any big recruits you're like, I don't think this is going to happen, and then he ends up maybe being better than you thought.
Ryan Deacon was like 50-something on the big board, and he obviously turned out to be very, very good.
Yeah.
For a prolonged amount of time, not just like a Keyshawn Clark who made the finals one year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deacon's claim to fame was that juniors when he was a senior and he beat Yanni, and there's like, oh, okay, like literally I don't think there were very few people that knew who Ryan Deacon was, myself included, at that point. And then he kind of got household-ish at that point, and then once he made the team and got second, it was like, all right, this guy's going to be a tough out. I don't know. That's a very good question.
Yes.
I wasn't sold on Kyle Snyder. Just kidding.
Stop.
He was like one of the most obvious ever. Okay, so we're all going Starachi here. I do think if it somehow got to tiebreakers, that would be probably like how Chris could win it. He was good on top, but yeah, I just don't see him getting the takedown that he would probably need. Okay. Ed Ruth versus Aaron Brooks.
Ruth.
What a match.
I think this is Ed.
I want to go Ed, but then I think about, well, in 2013, that was the year he lost to Dean, correct or no?
No, not correct.
2014.
That was his senior season was when he lost to Gabe at the scuffle.
Let's go Ed Ruth then.
Also, that was like unknown Gabe Dean, and I don't think Ed Ruth probably took it that serious.
Well, and he had already pinned him in the first period the last time they wrestled.
Yes.
And this is the year where Ed decided to get a major in like the last 40 seconds of the match.
Because Gil told him to.
Finals, if you remember. He's
Hamlin.
Ed's ridiculous. I would take him here.
Ed's ridiculous. Yep. The R in Ruth stands for ridiculous. We got to go Ed Ruth on this one.
Yeah. Anyone taking Brooks here?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. All right, Quentin Wright versus Max Dean. Undefeated Quentin Wright this year. He bumped up for the second time in his career. Ended up beating a former national champion in Dustin Kilgore in the finals.
Quentin Wright.
Quentin Wright, let's go.
Yep.
Everyone loves Q.
He was very good this year. I believe undefeated.
You believe correctly. No one beat him.
All right.
Underhooks.
Did not.
Throw bys. That underhook throw by was pretty. That's like he was really good.
And Dustin Kilgore was really good. I want to say he made maybe third in the trials the year before, something to that effect.
Yeah. I think he made like the trials finals. Yeah, he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gracious.
All right, going into heavyweight, Shane has it 15-12 in favor of 2022. So
Shane already knew what he was going to do. He had a plan.
Yeah, but I switched it on. I switched on the arb. When we started this conversation and I went through it, I had it 5-5. I was going to go Soriano gets the first takedown. They win the duel 16-15. But I switched my mind on Roman Bravo Young. The more I thought about it, I'm like, because of the timing, it's Roman Bravo Young.
Oh, I see. So I mean, there's if anyone picks not Gable, they're a moron. So
that first takedown didn't matter. I thought it would for me, but it didn't matter.
Gable Dan.
Slow played us.
Gable Dan here.
CB has it 12-15, as do I. Meaning Gable, well, I don't.
Dude, Gable needs the major. To get the major. Get it to win.
I don't know if he could get the major.
Oh, he could. This Gable, if you said, Gable, you have to. There's no other option. I think he could get it. What he did to Gwiz, what he did this year at NCAAs to everyone. I know Colton is a different sort of beast, and you had to be a little more cautious there. I don't know, and maybe not. Tony Nelson was obviously awesome, and a 2-time champ. This was his second title, but man, I think he would get it if he had to. I'm not gonna, I think in general it would probably just be a regular decision, but.
And don't you think Tony Nelson? I mean, because Tony Nelson, I mean, he was obviously big, but he wasn't like. I mean, how much do you think he weighed?
250, 260?
Yeah.
Because I would think that would favor Stevenson, right? I mean, because Tony would wrestle with him.
Yeah.
Gable's going to hammer him.
Yeah. It's a really tough match. I mean, basically, Tony's defense was amazing. When guys would get on his legs and he could just like sprawl and pop and get a lot of takedowns off of shots. That's how he beat McMullen, I believe, in this final. But man, that's not.
He could ride
freaking Gable.
But I mean, keeping Gable down is going to be. Well, Tony Nelson was really good on top, and Gable, he's never on the bottom.
Yeah, he would do that annoying like claw out to the side, like circle to the right type of thing, and just like kind of hold guys down. But yeah, Gable big, probably not a major though. Unless he absolutely had to.
All right. So what are you doing? Who wins?
Well, he might have to because it's 15-15.
15.
You tell me if Gable needs a major, he's not getting a major. Come on.
Yeah, he's probably getting the major.
All right, give me 4 for Gable. I think that's my only bonus point.
It's anybody's only bonus point.
Yep, no bonus points on the board.
Yeah.
Guys, I think there's a mistake. Can you bring the board back up?
Oh, mistakes.
It's up.
There's a typo. Tyler made a mistake at 133. He's got JD and Christian taking Steber. You guys
obviously. Oh man. I really I can't believe it. But I don't want to talk about it now.
Christian's heated about that.
Yeah, not heated. I am so surprised.
Now I want to see the match. Can we create a time machine?
Oh, how great would that be? God, that'd be awesome.
Great match. I would love to see it. I mean,
who gets you? And RBY obviously gets my OW. Who you guys got as your OW of the tournament?
Yeah, man.
Shane's trying to bully you guys at this point.
Gable.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Gable
RBY gets my OW. What a performance against Steber. Great.
Pulling the upset, I guess, would do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge upset.
All right. Let's go to some questions. All right. There were some good ones that we did not get to. We already got to one, actually. The question about the returning to the mean. Most likely to happen. Starachi a 5-time champ or Dayton Fix a 5-time runner-up?
I think this one's easy.
Oh.
Who's beating Dayton after RBY's gone? Because RBY only has 1 year left.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Starachi is more likely. But it's not easy.
Wait, why do you think Starachi's
That's
more
what
likely?
I'm saying. I agree.
Because I think Dayton wins.
It's highly unlikely that
Dayton wins a title.
Highly unlikely that Dayton doesn't win. So yeah, I agree.
I'm with that. I agree. I think Dayton comes back and wins a title. If trades were allowed, what could the Hawks get for Spencer? Hamidi and Braxton Amos? What trades would y'all like to see?
I actually don't think it's that much because
he's with the injuries and his age. I mean, he's not going to get a ton.
I don't want to say injuries, but let's just count. He's we'll say 25-ish points max. If we got that's 6 years of eligibility between him.
You're not trading Hamidi and Amos for Spencer Lee if you're Wisconsin. No way.
You're not trading 6 years of eligibility.
Never
is what I'm saying. For one, I mean, got 6 years of eligibility. You'd have to average 4 points a tournament to get 25.
Oh no, Ben, we're losing you, Ben.
Is that Ben? I got nervous. I didn't know who it was. I'm like, is that
Ben.
me?
We had issues with Ben yesterday. I don't know what happened.
Good or bad? I look fine on mine.
Yeah, you look great, but it's just you're frozen. And yeah, there it is. That's your face. It's frozen, and we can't hear you.
The thing you should consider for trade-off here is, do you get to keep Spencer through his Olympic run, and do you think he will make an Olympic run in 2024 and or beyond? Like, do you value the possibility of an Olympic medal weighing out those extra years of NCAA eligibility?
That's a great point. That is a great point. I think you just have to assume you just get their collegiate whatever, because in the nature of free agency for the senior level, you don't really know.
I think you just assume that, but you have to include that possibility.
That's a good point. Where you graduate from your...
I'm back.
Yeah, you are.
Nice.
What the heck happened there? My internet was working fine. Zoom like closed me out and then opened me back up.
Let's blame Zoom.
And I could hear you guys the whole time. Dude, why are we discussing this? This would be a bad trade. You do not want to change. Maybe if someone else has like 1 or 2 years, maybe you consider it, but you're not giving away 6 years of eligibility.
Okay. Well, let's come up with a...
Well, you think...
I do love the idea of trades. That would be really great. Obviously, you'd have to have the athlete sign off on it as well.
Think about the overall benefit to the program and the fact that there's a likelihood Spencer goes on, makes an Olympic run, possibly coaches at your institution, still brings in recruits after he's graduated.
Hold on. It didn't say they're staying there forever.
They might, but
but you have to include that possibility.
I was not trading Spencer Lee because it'd be the first 4-timer in that program's history. Maybe coach down the road. Like, they're not going to trade him. Like, there's no way. It'd be like, I mean, I make baseball comparisons, but it'd be like the Orioles, no matter what, they weren't trading Cal Ripken. And I'm not, Cal Ripken was not, Spencer's still in his prime. Yeah. Like, hey, by the way, Christian, congratulations as your Orioles take 2 or 3 from the Yankees last weekend. Congratulations on that.
Go O's.
Suck it, Andy Hamilton.
Sorry, Andy.
I mean, the other obvious here is that Iowa doesn't really need a 6. I mean, at least they don't think they need a 65 and 97 because they have Warner and they have Patrick Kennedy, who they think is going to be a suitable replacement. If someone team was in need of that, they'd probably be more desirable to take those options because they have 6 years of eligibility. Yeah, but I think trades would be fun. I think there's probably a lot of fun trades we could do, especially with like teams like Mizzou, who's got, say, like a Sean Harmon at 74, who was really good, and then they need to maybe fill a different spot. They trade him, get another spot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not taking calls on Spencer Lee, though.
Excluding Yanni and Spencer, wrestler most likely to repeat as champ.
Gable Steveson.
Gable. Oh my gosh.
It's not Gable, because I mean, obviously if he's wrestling, it's Gable, but I think the chance he doesn't wrestle is almost relatively high. So
I'd probably off the top of my head. Brooks or Keegan or Starachi. I don't know. It's one of those 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go Brooks.
I'll go Keegan.
If Carr moves up, man, that is just like dude, 3 national champs in one weight. But Keegan should probably
be better.
Yeah, he should be better. I'll roll. Nah, it's gonna be Brooks.
Say Brooks.
I'm saying Brooks.
We got I don't know if it might have been from a couple days ago, so I don't know if it's in the stock, but would Miles Amin have won 197 this year?
Oh, yeah, that was a good question.
If he had
That
wrestled
is
there.
a good question.
Oh,
Man, sadly, I think he probably would have.
Yeah.
I'll be the favorite.
But, going into the year, you don't know that Fast Twitch is going to be out. And then,
It was clearly better for the team.
obviously, for the team,
Team 100.
Brucky's not making it. But, yeah, I think he probably does, but that doesn't matter either. But, yeah, that's a good question.
Hey,
Unless RBY bumped up to 197.
If he bumped up, he probably, no one's touching him.
Hey, I like this question by Damon, and I think people maybe appreciate my coaching advice or my opinion a little bit. So, and even if they don't, I'll give it anyways.
It's my favorite part.
How do you evaluate middle/high school athlete you're coaching who isn't receptive to feedback, isn't very coachable? What can you do to persuade them to change their outlook? So I think this is relatively easy. You got to take them when they're at a low point. They take an L at a tournament, right? But the but here is you can't do that. I told you so. So many coaches want to do that. I told you so. You can't do it. You gotta get the athletes know you care about them. You don't care about your own opinion being right or your ego being right. You just want the right change to happen, right? So many coaches go, I told you that single leg wasn't going to work, or I told you that was. And then the athlete's like, F this dude. F him. I'm going to do the opposite just to try to prove them wrong because they're trying to prove me wrong, right? Mm-hmm. So you need to say it in a manner which the athlete realizes, and obviously over the course of time, they're going to realize you don't care about your own ego. It ain't about that. It's about getting them to be as good as they can be, not your freaking ego. But so many coaches tie their ego into that equation, and that leads to a bad outcome.
Heck yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a follow-up question.
I mean, the follow-up to that is
Ben, give us an example. Give us an example of a situation that you were in as a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, give us the scenario.
I mean, I think it happens. I think it happens quite a bit actually with middle school. I don't know why middle school kids, they get like these ideas that certain things they think are right, and it's like they're so wrong. And you could tell them, hey, like that's wrong, and they're just not going to listen at all. But then when they're in a tournament and they lose and it hurts and they don't like it, and you're like, hey man, I've been trying to tell you need to work on your bottom skills more, or I've been telling you you need to finish the takedown by staying on the leg, not coming up to the body. Something like those are common ones. That's what we gotta do. We gotta do this. Like we can't keep losing to this freaking kid over here because you keep coming off the single leg to the body. Something to that effect.
What's something, Ben? I like the analogy of like pilots. Trust your instruments.
Yeah.
You can be in a plane. I've never flown a plane, but you can be in a plane and you are 100% convinced you are right side up, and your instruments tell you that you are upside down, and you got to trust your instruments. When is a point in your career when you were pretty hell-bent on something that you felt really strong on and you were right, that you had to trust somebody else, trust the coach, and make an adjustment when it was really tough to trust them?
So I actually would say to me, I mean, this is the great thing about wrestling, and this is the thing that I accepted early about wrestling, and a lot of people don't want to. There's a lot of people who don't want to accept this as truth. The instruments are the results. The results are going to give you the answer. Okay. Now, obviously, I could wrestle against there's certain kids. Let's see, I wrestle against a high school kid. All my moves work. Right. So that's a large skill level discrepancy. It's not fair. Right. But when I'm wrestling people my equal skill level or maybe slightly above my skill level, if it's the right move, it's going to work. Right. More often than not. And if it's not the right move, then I need to figure out a better solution. And that was kind of like what led me to evolving on the scrambling stuff. It's listening to what works, not saying this is my move. This move is going to work no matter what. Right. And there's a lot of coaches and athletes who think that way, and it's really painful to watch. So, I mean, that would be a good point of it. I would probably never do this with youth athletes, but with high school athletes, once I've watched them a whole bunch of times, This would be a great, like, kind of the last things, like, and they're really convinced. Like, I'll take Mitchell Bessenbrink. He was convinced he could wrestle almost exclusively from the open position, right? Shooting from the outside. And it took him losing a whole bunch of matches. And me say, couldn't score a takedown in that match. Couldn't score a takedown in that match. Couldn't score a takedown in that match. Do you realize that we need to add something to you, right? I don't want to take this away because you are really good here. No doubt. No doubt. You're really good here. But let's add some things to your game, right? And then he finally it clicked because he lost a few matches. And he said, yeah, I couldn't score takedowns on dudes. How do I do it? Right. And he was at that point, he was open. And so I said, okay, your outside game is great, but let's add a little more. And now he's been able to add a little more. And you saw, like, last week, he beat up on the number 5 guy in the country. I mean, that would be a really,
Cal Baptist?
Yeah, Cal Baptist. So that would be a really good example. That was I didn't think of a exact example the first time, but that would be one where it was like, yeah, this is really good, and you're really set. And I couldn't, like, tell him, see, I told you so, and I couldn't force it. I had to wait till he was open for it, and when he was open for it, then I hit the opening. I said, all right, let's do this, this, and this, and boom, he adds to it, and all of a sudden it's producing really good results.
When does that conversation happen? All right, Mitchell loses a match.
That one specifically was Super 32. The last 2 matches he was really frustrated in.
But are you? I mean, like, to the moment, like, he's off the mat, and that's when you start talking about it, or it's like when you get back to practice?
It was next week. The next week. I don't usually like doing it when people are too emotional. It doesn't produce good results. Yeah, it was next week. I said, hey, I've been trying. I've been explaining to you that this is gonna be an issue, and it reared its head here. So there was way more. Right? This is like a 30-minute conversation. There was way more to it. But hey, you have some really great tools. Let's just add a few more tools, and and he trusted me on it, and I think it's provided some really good results.
In your career as a wrestler, were there times you were unreceptive to things? Similarly,
was there times when I was
because I would bet, Ben, there were a lot of people trying to, even coaches, I don't know who, that were trying to.
No,
really,
not really.
So everyone was just like supportive of the.
So Coach Mesmerink was really helpful to me. Kind of like, he would make suggestions, but he would never say I don't know if he ever said, like, don't do that. I can't remember a time where there was definitely no, like, heated debate of, like, don't do this, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Coach Smith and Horton and Pritz and McNamara, no, they were all like, I remember the first goal meeting I ever went to. We had these goal meetings. I don't know, every like 8 weeks or whatever with the coaches. They said, we love what you do and you're working hard, but you're going to your back a little too much. I said, it's practice. I can go to my back and practice. That's fine. I'm trying some shit. And they're like, really? I said, yeah, I ain't gonna do that in matches. Come on, it's practice. And they're like, okay. And then they never said nothing again about it.
That's good. And for them, it's probably just the assurance of, they're probably just getting the assurance, like, okay, that's why that's happening. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Right, for their own peace of mind.
Yeah, and that's not like, obviously there was suggestions, whether it was Coach Messermink or any of the Missouri coaches, there were suggestions made along the way. I don't know that there was any that I was like, nah, I don't think that's right. And I actually think one of the I would like to think one of the reasons I've had so much success is I was open to any and all suggestions from all coaches, not that they all made their way perfectly into my game plan. And then also any and all, and this is where I feel like there's a lot of scrambling stuff that I pulled from other people. I loved watching film. I was able to find film of really good people. I'm like, oh, damn, that's good. I need to do that. Oh, Dave Schultz did that. That's really good. That's awesome. I'm going to use that. John Smith did that. Oh, that's really awesome. I want to do that. And I would like try to pull from all these people. And it wasn't like my style is the best. I'm going to show everyone that my style works. It was like, no, like, ooh, I like that move. Ooh, I like that move. Ooh, let me figure out how these things like, it was a fun puzzle for me to try to put together moves from all these other people.
Interesting.
And I see that in athletes, and like a lot of athletes, like, the most impatient one I'm coaching on, Aiden Sinclair. He's a pain in my ass. He's like, I want to do now. I want to do now. I want to do now. And I'm like, for God's sakes, it's going to take a couple months. Shut up. But it's like.
He is a stud, though.
Oh, man. He's so good. But it's like you can't if you think about all the things you need to know in wrestling, everything.
So much.
Now, based on your body style and movement and everything else, there's going to be things that probably suit you a little bit better, right? For me, I'm extremely slow. Like, so let's say a Mitchell or Sinclair got a little more pop than me. I'm not going to be able to do some of the same things that they do. But it's not like you can add them all in like 2 months and say, oh, I'm going to add everything I know. Boom, go, right? So it's like, hey, I'm going to give you, as a coach, it's like, hey, I'm going to give you these few things. I'm going to let you try to master them. Then 3 months, 6 months down the road, boom, I'm going to throw a few more at you. 3 months, 6 months down the road, boom, I'm going to throw a few more at you. And we're going to keep trying to add to it and add to it and add to it. And that's kind of, it takes time. It takes a freaking lot of time to add all those things. And so, yeah, I'm not going to try to give them all to you in a month or 2 months or 3 months, right? It's just kind of continue to be open to suggestions. And that was how I was. I mean, I always bring up to athletes who are being stubborn. Like, dude, I was a 2-time national champion, 2-time Hodge winner. I couldn't do a down block worth a damn. I freaking sucked at it. And I lost at the freaking Open. In 07, I lost the trial. I said, God dang it, I can't down block. And I literally spent probably 20 minutes a day for the next year down blocking every single day. And, it's like there's a lot of people who are too proud. They're too proud to say, I'm too good. Down blocking, that's for middle schoolers. I don't need to do that. It was like, damn, I suck. I can't down block. I'm going to do this every freaking day. And I down blocked every single day. And then all of a sudden, boom, I got better at it.
Did you ever have a blind spot as a wrestler that a coach like brought something to your attention? Or were you like coach says, hey, this is the thing you need to do or not do. And you were like, it was like a dawning, or were you basically aware?
No, I mean, I don't think it would be quite not quite, it would kind of somewhere in the middle. It'd be like my guardman says, oh, hey, far ankle. Here's far ankle. Here's kind of what you do. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll do that. Or world's best on a move. Or, Sean Charles is like, hey, why don't you just, you need to do down block. Hey, let's do this drill every single day. Okay, let's do that drill every single day. But it was, so it's like these coaches are bringing things to my attention. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So I don't think it was like, I wasn't aware, right? Because obviously I was missing it, and they added it to me, or I watch a film and I add it to me. Yeah, so I don't think it was like I was aware, because obviously I wasn't, because otherwise I would have done it earlier.
Got it.
Where are your Hodge trophies?
I think they're the ones in Heartland and ones in Mequon, the academies.
Boom. Flex.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't be too proud. That's why I tell these kids, like, dude, I was a freaking 2-time Hodge winner, and I realized I couldn't freaking do a down block, which is a middle school move. Freaking suck at it. Okay, I guess I got to practice that every day for a year.
Yeah, it's crazy that someone of your caliber coaching and wrestling, it's like that you have to be like really thoughtful about when you bring things up to your athletes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
that's just,
you know what it kind of reminds me of?
That's humans.
It's like the cleanup hitter in baseball, or the 3 hitter that refuses to bunt because it's just not right. It's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But those are the guys, I feel like those are the guys, and I don't know baseball, but those are the kids who refuse to change. And I feel like at AWA, we haven't had, there's been a couple, unfortunately. There's been a couple. And I'm talking specifically my location that I work, kids where I work with. There's been a few that have been so stubborn, they almost refuse to change kind of throughout the course of time. But I feel like, and when it is for a lot of kids, is like they finish a junior year and they're like, shit, I got 1 year of high school left. I better figure this freaking thing out. When they're more mature and it clicks for them. But I feel like kind of it clicks for most kids. It takes a little longer for some kids.
Yeah.
But the I told you so. The I told you so will kill you. Don't do the I told you so. I know it makes you feel good inside.
Mm-hmm.
Take it out of your arsenal. Take it all the way out. Don't use it. Don't use it with the kids. She goes, don't use it with your wife. Your wife ain't going to like it.
Well, it's actually, Ben, when you said that, I was actually immediately going to my own kids. Like, that's probably that probably applies to parenting too. It's a good little, See, I try to take something out of these shows a little bit, and that's what I'll take from this one. That's a good, I told you so. I mean, I don't like when people tell me that, right? It's just that people don't like it. It pisses you off. It's like, it puts you on the defense.
Because deep in your heart, they're right. You already knew they were right. You don't need them to rub it in your face. You knew it. You're ready to accept it, You knew they're right. And then they're like, I told you so. And you're like, you son of a bitch.
Now we're fighting. Then you get dug in.
I already realized I was wrong. Now you're rubbing it in my face.
Dang it. All right.
Yeah.
Next.
I mean, it's kind of like if we could go, in that time machine. I mean, I don't. When RBY wins the match, I'm not saying I got to say anything. I'm just going to be like, God. All I'm going to say is, God, that was a really good match. That's it.
Well, I think what people
sure.
enjoy on this show is some "I told you so"s once in a while. So I think we have on this show we got to do it because people love it so much.
Yes, indeed. Do you think, our last question, do you think we continue our somewhat recent success in international freestyle compared to the past? Or do you think we're in the golden years of USA Wrestling right now and we'll fall back to less medals like previously?
I think we got a nice I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I mean, I can't predict past 2028, but the way we're set up, it's looking pretty good for a while.
I think how far off could we fall? It's not far, in my opinion.
How soon? How soon are you talking?
And how soon? No time soon. I mean, you just look at what we have committed through the next quad and change, and it's really good. It's like, who's the next? Who is the next generation is not as maybe clear as it was previously. Like it was just maybe
because people are wrestling longer.
Yeah. But I just think. I think it's we do have some really special. I think it is a little bit of a golden era. Like the fact that we have Kyle, Jordan, David, etc., Gable, all at the same time.
I think these guys are the start, Chris, and I think you're going to agree with this. I think these guys are the start of it, right? And regression to the mean, you got to acknowledge where the mean is. And I think our mean has went way up, right? Yes. And so while it may come back a little, we ain't going back to. Listen, I was 2008. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't get USA medal. We ain't going back to 2008. It ain't going back to that. Not anytime soon.
We're not going back to that time. I think we're not going back to. We're never going to go to the Worlds and come back with 2-3 medals. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. It's going to be
highly unlikely.
It's going to be 5+, I think, pretty consistently. Moving forward, and we're really in the 7 to 8 range on a consistent basis. I think it's going to be in that for a while. The Olympics are interesting because
there's only 6 weights.
There's only 6 weights, so there's just a lot. It could have. You want to look at the just look at men's freestyle Olympics. Gilman was a moment away from. Probably making the finals, but he was also so narrowly made the repechage. Aguyev nearly lost, I think twice after that. He had to get a late inside trip to pull Gilman in. So it was that close for Gilman not medaling. We didn't send at 65. Chamizo could have very well beaten Gajimagomedov in that semi, which means take DNPs. Right.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the weakness of the international. I mean, to what you're speaking of is a little bit of the weakness of the international brackets. But 100%. I feel like we're making progress on the seeding. I think the brackets, someone's eventually realized they suck, and they're going to make them more fair, which makes it more likely.
They did actually update the bracketing system. It's still not standard bracketing.
Wait, what is it?
But it's
imbalanced.
even. Yeah, it's even. So it's not
like that's ideal. Yeah.
So an example. So. That example, like we would have, quote, only had 3 medals, which is still 3 out of 6 is actually not bad. But it would have been so we could have a down Olympics for whatever reason, bad draws.
Yeah. What I don't think will continue to happen is have multiple guys like Jordan, Jaden, and Kyle that go to 3 straight Olympics and medal basically at those Olympics and almost every year in between.
If I can relate this to fighting, I think one of the things you saw that was really interesting about fighting was in the first tough, a whole bunch of, if you look at the original cast of 16 guys, so many of those guys fought forever in the UFC. And for me, I can't, I guess, prove this, but one of the things was they were the first guys to make it big. They were the first guys to get big sponsorships. Mm-hmm. They were one of the first guys to be able to train full time without any other worries in the world. And so that puts them way ahead of everyone else. So if you think about the guys that we just mentioned, they fall in that category. Guys in my era were at the very least coaching, hustling camps. We were trying to make ends meet, and I don't think a lot of these guys do anything else but I don't think Kyle Snyder wakes up every day and thinks about how am I going to go coach. Maybe once in a while he coaches some of the Penn State guys, maybe. Most times it's like, how do I wake up and be the best Kyle Snyder? Jane Cox, same thing.
I agree, and I think any of the extra stuff they do is stuff that they think is fun and rewarding and cool. Like, not something they feel like is actually necessary. So I think that's a big advantage. I mean, I think you would have to see a huge, like a shift in the RTC structure and support and the D1. Something bad would have to happen to D1 wrestling even for us to fall off. It would be pretty drastic. So I think we're. Obviously I have an American bias, but I think
you're not biased at
all. I think we're deep, man. I think you look at 57. No one, there were not many people picking Gilman to make the team in to make the Olympic team, and he got a bronze medal, and then he won a world title. And 61, we're pretty deep there, and we got the world silver. And 65, it'll happen eventually.
Maybe that's a jinx. We can't do that way. Hey, I gotta pee so bad.
All right. Small bladder Ben's got to go.
I got to pee. That's been holding it. I made it to the end of the time. You got to let me take a piss, man.
Oh, man. Ben, go pee. You can go. You get off a little. You can get the outro song off early.
I'm out of here.
See you, buddy. Thanks to Shane. Thanks to Ben. Thanks to JD. Thanks to you. Thank you to Logan Steber and Roman Bravo Young for bringing this level of embracing debate.
What a man.
Shane Sparks went down. He pulled his best Skip Bayless. This was like the Tebow thing for Skip. It's fine. And maybe we'll retouch on it down the line. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great Taco Wednesday for JD and I. See you later.